So now we are going to see our 46th question. It is the first question in the config maps and secrets. So if you see this question, they are asking to create a config map named app-config in the namespace prediction with the literal values of DB URL and log level from the file of slash opt slash config slash app.properties and from the file app.env. So, okay, so let's get started. And we need to use this in the pod environment variables. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'll just create a folder and inside that I'll basically enter into app.properties file in that folder that app.name and version. And then I will enter the environment variable as well into the app.env. Okay. And I need to create a literals of DB URL and log level. Okay. Now, this is the app information I will have. Um, and this is the app.properties. Or else I can also do directly to use. So what I need to do is inside app.properties, I'll have some DB URL key and value. Inside app.env, I will have a log level information. But just to show you how are we using the from literals and from files, I will create a different things in using from literals and from file will have a name and version. Okay. And environment will have production and another information. Okay. So let's get started. Now I'm just exploring env from because this is what we are going to use in the pod levels, right? First I'll create a directory which they are asking me to create is opt config. And I need to echo this hyphen e. What hyphen e will do, it will read slash n and it will enter into the next line. Okay. And that will go into my app.properties file. So then I need to create one more file called app.env. So let me just check what is there and opt config. Oopsie. It's not created, is it? Hmm. Oh my. Then where is this created? Let me just use this. Okay. Mm, Fine. So config is there and properties are there and let me just view the env as well. So it's there here as key and value pairs and I will go back to my root directory. There I will try to create a config map and which will be app-config, right? Now, this is an imperative command. And if you are not sure about this command, config map you can do -n. where you will see different literals like from literal, from file, from env file is what we're going to use. Okay. So I will use from literal, which should be database and value. So from literal equals to database and value. And that means key and value. Then there is one more literal. I think this will be fine. So from file, right? Okay. From file of that particular file I need to use, and from environment of that particular environment I'll be going to use. Now it shows me the error because config map. Okay, okay. So I need to give a config map name, right? My config still it gives me error because from env file cannot be combined with from literal or from file. So what I should be using? I should be removing this part, create one config. So my config map one is what I want. Now, instead of all this from env file, right? And this will be my second config map. So two config maps are created. One is for app.env and another is for app.properties. Now, I don't have any pod yet, so I will run a pod. kubectl run pod name and with an image. We'll create a pod for you. So hyphen hyphen item equals to client hyphen no YAML greater than my pod dot YAML. My pod dot YAML has this thing containers, image, and resources. Inside this, I'm going to use env from. Okay, how do I know it is exactly env from? Just that part is what you need to remember env from, and you can search in the documentation, you will get a reference. So this is how we are going to use it. So I go into my for XML env from. Oops. So this is how we are using, and this is my config one, right? Yes. And we can also use a second config map like this. Map RAN. There is a name, my conf, because there are two configs I need to import into this container. That's it. And apply hyphen f my pod.yaml. Cannot be handled as a pod. Something is wrong. Pod in version v1 cannot be handled as a pod. Strict decoding error. spec env from. It should be related to a container, right? That's what we are discussing in the first section. So, hmm, this is a mistake which we are learning, and I think it should be fine. Hmm. And indentation issues. Hmm. Okay, we'll try now. Yes, it's great, right? Now this part is using the config map, which we have created. That is, if I open it, right? Get config map, my config map one hyphen YAML. It shows me all the properties. App.properties is having the uh, name and version and DB URL. Okay, so now I want to see the second config map, which should have a environment information. So this is all the data it is having. Okay, environment production debug false, whereas this is all the data it is having. Okay, so I hope it is clear. So app.properties, here we are having app.name and app.version. That data is present here. And inside this map only, we have entered a literal value, right? Like we have created using hyphen from hyphen literal. So that is also entered here inside that my config map one. Whereas in my config map two, we have only uh, entered only for environment variables. So only that related data is present here. So these two are mounted, I mean, used in this pod while creating, right? So we can use describe pod, my pod. Um, there is only one pod, so okay, this is not found, no? It's showing that hmm, my config one is not found. Now we will do this or edit pod. What is the pod name? Insurance pod, right? Hmm. And I am going to edit as the name map one, map two. Hmm. Oh, okay. So it is not alone. Hmm. There should be one command, okay? Force something. Force replace, yeah. kubectl replace hyphen f. Hmm. So I think this will work. it will delete and recreate that particular pod. Yes. Now we have learned a new command, right? I just remembered force, so using that I searched in a docs and I got that. Okay, I'll just enter here. Hmm. Now let's describe this pod. I get it. Yes, now I'm going to see that environment variables are mapped from these two files and two config maps. And if I see the pods, it's running. Yeah, we are cool. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.